Last week I had to replace the battery for my 2013 Ford Focus. I noticed when I took out the black cable that the sensor was broken off completely. So I purchased this new cable. My sensor connector was also bad, so I purchased that separately. You can get packs that have the two together. Before I installed it in the car, I plugged it in to make sure that it plugged in okay, and you can disconnect it easily by pulling that gray thing out and pushing down and pulling out. I got this 1/2-inch socket to remove the black wire from the car, and then a 10mm socket to remove the terminal from the battery itself. Now you can only see it a bit here, but I had a ton of corrosion on the battery terminals, so I actually used this NOCO battery cleaner to clean it off, and this thing works really well. Let me just show you on this bolt here so you can get an idea of how well it works. You just spray it on, and you can see where it is pink is where the corrosion is. When I sprayed it on the wire itself before, the whole thing was just pink, but you can see that kind of working. And here's the old terminal with the broken battery sensor. You can just see how well that works just as a demonstration. And when you're done, you just spray it off with water, and that's it. That's all there is to it. It's kind of messy, but it works really well. I tried to figure out which wires went where on the battery connector, but I couldn't figure it out. I am not actually sure if it matters, but you just strip the wire and you can use crimpers. The connector I got has these little metal sleeves for you to crimp, and it has shrink wrap as well. Make sure you put the shrink wrap on the wires before you do any crimping. Do a little pull too to make sure that the wires are crimped correctly. Then use the torch to shrink the shrink wrap. Then go ahead, put everything back together. I use this NOCO battery corrosion preventative on the battery terminals, and this is just a nice way to prevent corrosion from happening again, so I don't have the same problem as before. I turned the car on and everything was working great.